Hi, my name is Deborah. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be learning how to make this beautiful ZARA cap. If you find this video helpful, kindly like, subscribe and share. I'll be available to answer questions in the comment section. Hi, welcome to this tutorial. So these are the materials we'll be needing for this particular tutorial. We'll be needing a marking thread, scissors, measuring tape, marker. So this marker you can get from people selling shoemaking materials, from cobblers. Those people selling shoemaking materials, you can get from them. It is called marker, and this is our fabric we'll be using. So let's get into the tutorial proper. So measuring what we have here, I've already cut out the materials. So this is the marker like I said earlier. So we're using 18 inches by 3 inches. If you don't want your ZARA cap, if you don't want it to be this high, you can use 2.5. And if you want it to be very much high, 3.5, 3.5 is fine. But if you want it to be normal or in between high and not high, it has to be 3 inches. So 3 inches by 18 inches. So that is what I'm using for the marker measurement. Then for my fabric, so if you notice, this is the stretchy part, and we are going to cut the edge circumference around the stretch. So the measurement I'll be using here, I hope you can see. Okay, the measurement I'll be using here for the fabric on the stretchy part, that's where I'm going to measure the what's it called, the edge circumference. So this is it. We have 24 and a half. I wanted to go 24 inches, so 24 inches is fine. 24 inches on the stretchy parts, because we are using a stretchy fabric. 24 inches by 20 inches. So 24 inches by 20 inches is what I'm using. 24 inches on the stretchy parts. That is along the edge circumference, and the width of 20 inches. So what I'll be doing next now is I'll be determining the midpoint of the marker and the midpoint of the fabric. For the marker, I've done that. We measure, since we have 18 inches, that means the half of 18 inches is 9. So this is 9. That is where so you mark it. Then for the fabric, you can measure, and you can as well just do it this way. Bring it and put it together. Make sure it's equal. Make sure it's equal. And put in. Then you notch. Use your scissors to just cut the tip like this. That's what they're calling notch. So, and remember, my wrong side will be facing up. My wrong side of the fabric will be facing up. So I'm going to take my mark. So my fabric must be facing up. The wrong side of my fabric must be facing up, and the marker is placed here. So I'm just going to place it this way. Just watch what I'm doing. So I'm making sure that it's on the middle. So just watch closely. Here is what we are doing. I'm going to mark 3.5 inches away from the fabric. So that's where my marker is going to start from. So I'm marking 3.5 inches. So that is where my marker is. That's the point. That's where that 3.5 inches got to. That is where my marker is going to start from. And don't forget, the middle of the marker must align with the middle of the fabric. So we'll see what that half inch. You know, we marked, our marker was 3 inches. So you just add an half inch to it. So if you are using 2.5 measurement of marker, that means what you'll be marking here will be 3 inches, not 3.5. So whatsoever the measurement of your marco is, you just add half inch allowance to it. You understand the essence of that half inch very soon. So just watch closely, please. If you don't get it once, you can go back and you can rewind it and watch. So please watch closely. Let me bring. So I brought it up like this. Make sure that your marco is not moving. So here, so this is what I'm going to do. The essence of that half inch is for this place. Normally we are supposed to sew at this end, this point here. We're supposed to just sew straight down. But because this thing is not neat, this point is not neat. So just fold it. And we are not sewing on the marco, we are sewing on the fabric, just a little bit away from the marco. So this is what I'm doing. So I'm going to fold, just look at it from this end. I'm just going to fold. So that's what I'm going to basically do. I'm going to fold it and then sew. Fold it in and sew. Please don't sew on the marco, you have to sew away from the marco. I don't know if you can see this is where the marco stops and this is where I'll be sewing. So this is what I'm going to do from down here, and I'm going to sew this place as well, this edge. I'm going to sew here, and I'm going to sew the other edge. So let's go and do that. I'll come back to show you. So before I'm going to sew, I want to show you. I used my pin. Then I'm not. Whenever I want to sew, I'm going to remove this. But just to show you for better illustration. So this is what I mean. So just assume this part that I use pin on is sewn. So that is what you'll be doing. This particular piece, you're going to sew straight down, but make sure it is not on the marco. Like I said, this is how you fold in. You fold in this way, then so this is part of what I'm sewing. I'll sew this end as well, so I'll come back to show you. So see what I was saying. Look at this place. This was what I sewed. Then this place and this place. I had to sew it twice because it has already shifted here. So this is what I was talking about. The next thing we'll be doing here, I need to fold it, turn the right side, facing up, facing you. Then you bring it together this way. Bring it together this way. I'm going to be using 10.5 inches. So that is what I'm going to mark. I'm going to mark it all around. 10.5. 10.5. So when I get here, I'm going to just do that 3 inches measurements, 3 inches here too. Then I'm going to connect it. You see what I did? So that is the line I'm going to follow for the sewing. I'll come back to show. The next thing we'll be doing, which is the last thing, is to do a running stitch around the sewn part to gather it. So that's what we'll be doing. Then please, if you're making for a client, make sure you weave the edges to make it neat. So running stitch is what I'm doing now. When you get here, you move the running stitch. You don't let it get to that band area that I'm showing you. You measure at least 2 inches. You measure 2 inches away from the band. So that is where your running stitch stops. So that is what I'm doing now. I'm tacking, and voila, that's the end. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.